and welcome back to the Midnight Diary channel. This week I'm back with a normal kind of podcasty episode for you. It's going to be very short. I've already recorded it once, blethered for a long time about nothing in particular, and it ended up being 15 minutes. So if I'm a little bit more concise, then actually this might only be 10 minutes. So tea break chat. Okay, there's been very little making time this week. I've been busy. I've been doing my neuroscience course. I'm doing an introduction to neuroscience in the early years. It's a level 2 further certificate of further education. So I've been doing my assignments for that. Passed, hooray! I've been preparing for an interview for a place on the actual teacher training course that I'm doing in September. And that involved researching, preparing a presentation, which just fried my brain. And I've been staying up quite late, binge watching the Nursery Nurse on Facebook. If any of you follow her, I've been following her for a few years, actually. It's just happens to be that I am now going to be a nursery nurse or a nursery educator, preschool educator. I just think it's fantastic. The fact that it's one person playing all these characters completely blows my mind. And I can completely believe that they are all these different people. It's been a great escape. She's always done kind of skits about what it's like being in a preschool or a nursery and sorts of things that you come across, sorts of interesting behaviours of parents perhaps. I mean, I've got no idea, because my own experience is very limited at the moment, but apparently these are true stories. But she's since developed from about Christmas time, which is when I stopped watching, really. I kind of just dropped off and fell a bit behind and then never really got caught up. She introduced actual storylines with characters that are fully fleshed out and developed, and it's so good. But yeah, so I've kind of been binge watching that, and I am now of an age where I can no longer stay up until midnight 3 nights in a row watching that and still be a fully functioning human being the next day, particularly when my toddler gets me up at 5:30. All that to say, there's not been a lot of making. I mean, I have been making while I was watching those videos, but I was actually sewing. I'm really working really hard on my English paper piecing project, which I've not brought to show you today. So let's move on. I had 2 goals when I left you last week. The first was to finish the little vest top I'm doing for my husband's cousin's baby's birthday, which is now a while ago, but there we are. And I got so close to finishing it. Here we are. Here it is. Oh gosh, I don't know what's happened. I've got myself in a right muddle here. Goodness me. There we are. So you can see I've done the armhole, the neckband, and I'm just picking up for the second armhole. I've not going to say I've been enjoying working on this, because honestly I haven't. I got the knitting finished, that was fine, and then I started mattress stitching, and I really enjoy the mattress stitch. It's a little piece of magic, and I think I'm going to have to do a video tutorial on it for one of my 2-minute Tuesdays. I don't think I've done one already, because it is a really fantastic stitch, and it just makes for a completely invisible seam. You can just about see, because the way the light's hitting it, that the seam is there, but on the right side you can hardly see anything, and I really like it. I find it really satisfying to do. So I was quite happily mattress stitching, and then this was the weekend. This was Saturday, and then my brother-in-law came round, so I put it to one side to talk to him. I picked it up in the evening. I thought I'd blast. This is a knit in pieces, knit flat vest top. And what they usually have you do is join one shoulder and then pick up, from the other side, pick up and knit, and up. And to do that, you really need it to be open and flat. So I had to pause in my very beautiful and very satisfying mattress stitching and seam a shoulder. Now, what I attempted this time, I'll show you the first shoulder because it's the prettiest, it looks the best, was actually grafting. So people always called it the Kitchener stitch, and we're moving away from that now because, yeah, Lord Kitchener was a bit of a nasty character, really. Plus, I don't think he actually did make it up. I think I'll have to check. If anyone knows the truth about it, then please do let me know below. I will, of course, go and do my own reading. I'm not too unhappy with that. It's not the best, but it's not too bad, and it doesn't make for too thick a seam either. And again, it's quite discreet. I think that's worked quite well. So I tried that. I then made a mistake in that I didn't read the pattern, which is a very, very rookie error. You must always read the instructions. And I didn't notice that you were supposed to size down the needles for the neckband. And I carried on a size 4 or 4mm needle, which meant it was much bigger. However, because it's rib, it kind of cinches in anyway. And also it's the neckband, and it's for a 1 to 2 year old. And age 1 to 2, the head is still kind of out of proportion to the rest of the body. And it's not the biggest. I haven't done a stretchy cast off. It's not the biggest neckband anyway. So actually, I think that's worked out quite well. I have sized down for the first armhole. It's all flapping in on itself because you don't want it to be huge and gappy. But I couldn't find a 3 1/4mm needle, so I went for a 3 1/2 because I couldn't be bothered to dig around and find the other one. And it seems to be working out okay. So all I've got to do now is finish picking up, do 6 rows, and he said rounds, do 6 rows of this armband, cast it off, weave the ends in, mattress stitch the sides. It couldn't be simpler. I'm really looking forward to the mattress stitching, but I don't know what it is. I just need to get a block when it comes to doing the finishing of projects. And I know I'm not alone, because during my time running the yarn shop, finishing things was everybody's kind of nemesis. It's something we all kind of had in common. And it's ridiculous because you've done all this work. All you need to do is, sew on a button band, or weave in your ends, or seam a sleeve, and you just leave it. I will actively avoid picking up for neckbands, armholes, finishing off. And I don't know why. I don't know why I got such a block about it and why I dislike it so much, because it's not difficult. It's not something I can't do. I've been doing it for donkey's years. And actually it's quite satisfying when it's done and you end up with a lovely finished object, rather than something that languishes and then doesn't fit whoever it was intended for when you eventually do it. So there you go. I will have that finished for next time, and you'll have to put up with the photograph because I will be passing it on to its intended recipient. There we are. My second goal was to finish the first of my head over heels socks, which I achieved, and I can't find the first one, so I have a photograph. Photograph is taken directly from my kind of sister video series that I've started. So I finished that, and I am quite a way down the second sock. This pair is going to be for me. Not going to tell any porkies here. It's mainly for me because I want it finished, and I've got really small feet. I have the smallest feet of any adult I know, so they're quite wide, but they're essentially a UK 3 1/2 to 4, so they're quite diddy. My feet stopped growing when I was 11. So yeah, it's quite handy for knitting socks. It means they're over quickly. And I'm quite keen to improve, as I said last time, the number of socks that I have knit for myself. I don't have many hand knit socks. The ones I do have been worn hard over the past few years. So I need to go through my sock drawer, evaluate that, and decide where the gaps are and actually start knitting, because a lot of my stash upstairs is actually sock yarn. And I love it. I love sock yarn. So I've done a lot of this on dog walks. As I say, there's not been a lot of making time this week. I think I've said that. I can't remember because I've recorded this twice now. But anyway, there's not been a lot of making time. But what there is always time for is to do a few stitches or a few rounds here and there, particularly if you have got a nice portable project like a vanilla sock where you don't really need to think, you don't really need to measure, and you can sling it over your wrist. So I do a lot of knitting and dog walks. So yeah, I've almost finished this one. It will be finished for next week. I'm not going to talk too much about this because as I just mentioned, if you're new here, hi, welcome, you're very welcome. Returning viewers have probably already seen, and whether or not you've chosen to watch, it's fine. you've probably already seen that I've started a kind of sister series. It's Summer Sock Camp 2024 at the moment. So it's run by the Crazy Sock Lady. She's based in the US, and in the US, the kiddies break up for summer end of May. So they've been off for a week already. Are we in the middle of week 2 now? And they don't go back till the end of August, I want to say. So you've got the best part of 3 months, so June, July, August. And during that time, kids go off to residential camps and all sorts of things. So Kay's been hosting the Summer Sock Camp for a number of years now. And this year, I think it was the same last year, it's really pared back and it's super casual. You don't really need to organise yourself, or there's no admin really. You just knit socks all summer, and I'm here for that. So I'm upping my sock knitting, and I know that not everyone watching this enjoys all the sock chat. So I have put together a little sock camp update video, and that's video 1 is out already. And I think I'll be doing them maybe once a month or every 2 to 3 weeks. I'm not really sure of the kind of schedule for that. I think it's just going to be, it's going to be fun. It's going to be ad hoc. It's going to be, yeah. So I'm not going to dwell too much on socks at the moment. The other thing I've got to do is draw for the winner of that book that I was giving away, that I've been trying to give away. It's a really good book. The winner is, ta-da! Please get in touch so I can send you your prize. It's open worldwide. I don't care where you live. Just tell me, give me the information I need to give you the book. You can drop me a message on Facebook. I'm as The Midnight Diary on Facebook. On Instagram, I'm The Midnight Diary there. I am on Ravelry. I'm also The Midnight Diary there. So any of those 3 ways you can get in touch with me. Don't use the Midnight Diary email because I've gotten rid of it. It doesn't work. I won't get your message. So with not making and not having time to make things, I've just kind of been dabbling here and there. As I said already, I've been sewing a lot, but I'm not really going to show you that. I'm not ready to show you that yet. And I've been working on things that have kind of languished a little, and I've just sort of found as I've been hunting for sock projects and things. And this one is actually a design that I did a couple of years ago, and it's a vest. It's not dissimilar in shape. Oof, whack myself in the face with needles. It's not dissimilar in shape to this, but it is done then around bottom up, and it's got a really sweet cable. And the idea is that the cable's going to actually move around the collar. The first design I didn't do that. I just kept it really simple, but actually I really want to have little twists going up the neckline as well. So I did that for 0 to 3 months, and this was meant to be the 6 to 12 months, but looking at the size of it, it's easily the same size as this one. So I need to revisit that. So I'm kind of in the process of writing it, grading it, getting that done. And anyway, it was one of those projects where my son very quickly wouldn't have fit into it. And so I left it and just abandoned it. But when Mina came over, I dug it out because I gave her the other ball of yarn. I thought, actually, this is really sweet. I really want to work on this. So I've just been picking up and doing a few rows here and there. So you may see some more of that going forward as well. And that's it, really. That's all I've got to talk to you about. Yes, there's not been a lot of actual making time. The time I have had, I've been enjoying thoroughly, but I'm afraid that's the end of this episode. So it's going to happen like that sometimes. Sometimes I won't get as much making time and I won't have as much to talk about. And other times I'll have a lot more. So yeah, I hope that you've found this little snippety episode enjoyable. And yeah, I guess I will see you next time. Next time, I want to have finished that pair of socks. I want to have finished this vest. I also am planning a new cast on. The first passenger on the baby bus has alighted and arrived safely. So I'm kind of really geared up for a bit more knitting in that sense. And yeah, that's really all I've got to share today. I'm sorry. Hopefully you've enjoyed this little kind of coffee break length episode. Do tell me what you're working on. Have you managed to crack any of the works in progress that we've been casually making along with? Let me know below. Any other summer sock campers here? And yeah, brilliant. Any questions? Let me know. I will see you very soon. Take care. Bye.